So there's been a lot of talk lately, especially on YouTube and especially by bigger YouTubers, that the Wells Fargo situation, and by the Wells Fargo situation, I'm specifically talking about the cancellation of personal lines of credit. And these bigger YouTubers are suggesting that maybe this is indicative of a market crash. Now, don't get me wrong here. There's definitely a possibility of a market crash. But while there is a possibility of a market crash, there's also other factors in play that should be considered when we're talking about this Wells Fargo situation. And I can tell you guys very quickly, it's not hard to determine the probability of how likely this scenario is of a market crash based on what Wells Fargo did. All you really have to do is start taking a look at the 10Ks, the 10Ks that are current, the 10Ks from the past, because that tells a story, and it tells a significant story, which lets you know what the hell's going on with the company. And that, alongside some other factors that need to be introduced, will tell you exactly what the hell's going on. But it's not my job to tell you guys anything. I am not a licensed financial advisor. I did, however, reach out to somebody that did do this for a living, somebody that's a lot more credible than I am when it comes to this kind of stuff. So as you may have already anticipated, Chris from Spot On Analysis, he's got a degree in this stuff. He did this for a living for quite some time. So yes, Chris from Spot On Analysis. And this wasn't planned or anything like that. We were simply fishing together because, Chris is from my side of town down here in Arkansas. So we got together to pretty much enjoy ourselves by fishing, and I brought this up because I thought, you know what, while we're together fishing, I've got some battery left on my phone and some recording space, so we might as well cover this topic so that I can drop one for you guys and keep you in the loop. Now, I know that you guys haven't heard from me in about 2 days. There's a good reason for that. Normally I drop videos every day. Normally I drop several videos, at least 2 videos per day, but I've been working on something big. And while I've got half of at least one video recorded, and normally I try to keep my videos short, this next video that's coming out is going to be pretty long. I'm going to try to split it up into parts, several parts, because this video really deserves it, but we can cross that road once we get there. For now, all I want to talk about today, or at least what I want to expose you guys to today, is the truth behind this entire Wells Fargo situation. So I'm going to play this clip from me and Chris together while we were fishing. That should give you a pretty good idea of what exactly is going on. And yeah, it's going to be a little different than what you're used to if you've been watching these other YouTubers, these bigger YouTubers that needs to entertain you. I don't need to entertain you. I'm here to tell the truth. I also am aware, because, I try to keep up with everything that's said about AMC by other YouTubers. I am aware that some other YouTubers try to entertain you, or at least they want to get the views and the subs by coming up with conspiracy theories about every little thing and trying to tie it to AMC. But that is not the situation here. So, I'm sorry if I'm not being a team sport here, but this channel here is not going to BS you guys. I'm going to tell you the truth. And the truth is that this more than likely is not related to AMC. But at the same time, I'm going to let you guys hear what Chris has to say, and we can dig deeper if you guys would like. And, you're going to find out about that once we get to that part. But, I'm going to let you guys make your own decision. All right, Chris, so what I want to talk about today, so some news came out about Wells Fargo, and a lot of different YouTubers are covering this. Some of them are saying that this is indicative of a market crash, or that maybe Wells Fargo is predicting a market crash. So being the fundamental guy that you are, the fundamentalist that you are, Chris, I knew that I could come to you and you could...
Hey, I do technical shows now. Come on now. I wanna have fun too.
Fine, okay. Well, but there's no technicals on this, Chris. This is just fundamental only. So that's why I came to you, because I knew you could shed some light on the situation. So, can you?
Well, I did look into it, and it's kind of a mixture of both. You can look at it technically and fundamentally. First off, just technically, I don't see Wells Fargo doing that. Well, there's 2 things we talked to the Ticker family about it in the past. Systematic and systemic, and the differences in those. So I won't go deep into those. You can kind of tell them what video that was in. But and I didn't cover it on my channel because it's not clickbaitish. You know, I don't really go out and do scaremongering tactics. I mean, it's no big deal. If I thought it was a big deal, I would have covered it. But I see a lot of, successful YouTubers covering this. The market going to crash. Is it this? Is it that? And I said, well, like we talked about off the record, how many of the big four are doing it? And it was just one. And we go back to the neighborhood analogy, where you're in a neighborhood and you have one family run out of their house, screaming and hollering and just shooting up the street. It's a big deal for the locals, but probably won't make the news. But if you had the entire neighborhood running out of their house, now we have an issue. Something's going on. It's been invaded by murder hornets, whatever. So when I found out it was just Wells Fargo, and we've just, looked at what they're canceling, they don't even make a lot of their money there. They want to focus on the bread and butter. So this is probably the cheapest, as far as the consumer concerned. This is the cheapest avenue of credit. They don't make that much money on it. It's safer, but they want to focus on personal credit and credit cards. So if I had a personal line of credit business, credit card business, personal deals where you can charge not as much as a credit card, but more than a home equity line of credit, then it's a no-brainer which division going to be shut down first. You're not going to shut your money makers down. So they're shutting down a less profitable one, in my opinion. I have not, admittedly looked through their financials, but just looking on the outside, looking in, they're shutting this down. They've been in trouble. They've got a hefty fine. They're doing some reshuffling. There's going to be some restructuring. Some heads have rolled, and they just want to emerge from this. I mean, no one said it was a market crash when GM got into some financial trouble and axed Pontiac and axed, Ford axed Mercury. I mean, it's people got, they got to cut off, spin off, divestitures, all type of things to stay in business, because the number one goal of business is to be in business tomorrow. So I don't think it's a big deal. It could be, but it's just very, very unlikely. They're the only ones doing it. And it's just not ironic that the one doing it just got into a lawsuit where they were found guilty, fraudulent activity that they were doing. So obviously their resources have dwindled down and not what they used to be. So I think it's normal that they need to reemerge and really focus on where they make money and where they don't. So that's my take on it.
So in other words, you don't think that this is indicative of any type of market crash? You don't think I should go selling off any of my positions right now? I should wait?
Well, that's a trick question, because the market will crash when people want it to crash. So it can be a self-fulfilling prophecy. So if you have 10 million of the right people do something in unison, then it'll crash. But in a free floating market economy, these guys been in trouble. They've got their hands slapped. And things just got to change. You can't do something as bad as Wells Fargo did and just continue business as usual.
Chris, some of my viewers are new. We've got some new apes here that don't know what Wells Fargo did. Can you tell them?
Well, they was just kind of opening up accounts, and you get what you pay for. So they were incentivizing, putting pressure on accounts, getting people to open accounts, because that's how they got paid. Truck drivers drive. You know why? They get paid by the mile.
True.
Factory workers show up for work because they get paid by the hour. I mean, it's just, this is how these guys, and there was a lot of pressure on it, and it was just a little bit unethical. And they got in a little trouble for it. They had to come clean. Maybe had to, pay, this large fine. But if you listening to this video now and you got fined $50,000 today, something's going to change at your house. Whether it's you got to cut the Wi-Fi off, or maybe you got to start eating soup every day, or something's going to change. So if you doing something wrong, then let's just say top ticker financial institution, healthy, clean cut, clean shave.
Well,
haven't got into any trouble, and then all of a sudden you run and cut this off. it would be alarming. But for a company that just been fined and had some rough patches and is trying to redo their image, when money gets tight, you've been laid off, or you don't know where the next dollar's coming from, you know, you got, mouths to feed and a big, company to look after, you start saying, hey, what can go? And if you're making 30% on the loan versus 5% of the loan, hey, we got to take that capital from over here that we were making 5% on and see if we can't make 20%. And that, in my opinion, this is what all of this about. But if you get enough YouTubers and some politicians and Reddit rooms, you can do anything. You can crash any market. We've seen companies that won't be named. We've seen Reddit rooms bump companies up nowhere near where their valuations are. So, I mean, we've seen this with GameStop. So people have power. If you want it to crash, crash. It can be a self-fulfilling prophecy. But if you ask me, fundamentally speaking, should this crash the economy? Absolutely not. That is the craziest, not the craziest thing I've ever seen, but it's crazy. It doesn't
make sense.
Yeah, it's nothing. I mean, companies do this all the time. People close divisions all the time.
So Chris, how many likes do we need on this video in order for us to show proof of this theory?
I don't know. I doubt very seriously, which is why I'm not covering it. I don't really think YouTubers today want to do the work and dig into it. No one is interested in the truth. So I think a lot of people can just get by with the, scratching the surface, what we just did, and it will suffice. But I mean, if you just get a horde of people says, hey, what are you talking about? Show us on the financial documents. Someone would have to request that in a large amount of people. I don't just do that for 20 or 30. I mean, no one is interested.
Like 500 likes, 1,000 likes.
Yeah, I mean, I could.
500 likes would do it.
You right now, if you're on YouTube and you're consuming information, you can click a video right now and go and say Wells Fargo market crash, and we can't see it, but I will guarantee you right now, if someone says Wells Fargo is about to crash the market, I bet it has 100,000 views. Mm-hmm. But you can have someone go and say, hey, don't worry, not AMC, but Wells Fargo is not, it's no big deal. This is their issue. They're the only financial institution doing it. Because if the market was really going to crash, you think Wells Fargo got the only economist in the banking industry? They doing it because it is systemic to them. They got in trouble. They were trying to be good. It's like steroids in baseball. They wanted an edge and they went too far. But yeah, no, I'm not. I mean, I would do it, but I'm not worried about anyone asking. No one wants the truth. So
these apes on my channel, Chris, they're pretty persistent in asking for the truth. So
I could do a truth video on this thing with 3 hours of research and it'll get 1 view. I guarantee you. You need to just stick to, oh my God, the sky's falling, because that's
apes
what
wouldn't do that, Chris. I know they wouldn't.
Well, if they prove me wrong, I will come back, eat humble pie, and put you together the spreadsheets to prove and back up what I'm saying. But other than that, I think a lot of them just click through, listen to 2 minutes, and they get on about their life.
Apes, you heard what he said. I need 500 likes on this video ASAP. And because we already know that my apes are going to do this, Chris, what does this all entail? Like, in order for us to prove this to them, what are we going to have to do?
If you get 500 likes on there, I mean, that'll be it.
But like, what kind of information are we going to look for? We got to go through their 10Ks?
I will go through it and condense it and just back it up. But it's like an auto mechanic, Pat. If you pull a car up to a garage and the motor's knocking, the mechanic's going to tell you your motor's shot before you even pop the hood. And it's no different in this. I'm kind of like an auto mechanic with these financial statements. I can already tell you what's going on. They focusing on what make money and not focusing on what don't make money. So and just to put it in terms of anybody can understand, you got 5 girls in your phone or 5 hot guys in your phone. You got a really good chance with 2 of them. The other 3 are out of your league, ghosting you, giving you the cold shoulder, but they're really hot. But the 2 medium looking ones look like a real good, I'm going to focus on that.
That sounds like
me. And then your phone provider, AT&T, says, hey, Pat, you can only have 2 numbers in your phone from now on. You got to get, no more can you have 5. You're only going to get 2. So which 2 are you keeping?
The ugly ones?
The ones you got a shot with. I mean, come on now. And that's what this is. They can't do everything. GM just went through this. GM, you over here and you got Saturn, Hummer, Pontiac. You got to do something here, or die. And it's like, okay, you know who made it through without needing a loan? Ford.
They sure did.
Ford is good at trucks. Now Ford they had Lincoln and Ford. They stick to what is profitable. Ford is a truck company. We dabble in some cars. You know, they have the Mustang, but they know they can't compete with Toyota and Honda in cars. They're truck people. This is what we're good at. When you go into strategic management, you go in that classroom, you find out, first off, you can't be all things to all people. Find out what you're going to be and what you are good at. In academia, we call this a SWOT analysis. Everything you're not good at, spin it off, or it will break you. So if you run around here and you building houses and you suck at the electrical work, you're going to go broke trying to on the electrical scope of the house every time. Or you can sub it out. So if it's not part of your competitive advantage, get rid of it. If you're only making 5% on this money, get rid of it. Focus on where you're making 15%. Look at this in terms of your portfolio. You got 10 companies in there. You're making 20, 30% on every one of them a year. You got $1 million in a company that's making 2%. Hey, you got to go.
True.
I do this with my yard. I only have so many square feet of yard. You're either going to bloom or you're out of here. I don't have enough yard to mess with plants that won't bloom. You going to bloom or you out.
While I have you here, I wanted to quickly tell you about the brand new First Trade app, available for mobile or PC. The platform will give you access to powerful and easy to use tools and allows you to trade with less restrictions, zero commissions, zero fees, and you can use the first link in the description below to download a free stock today without having to deposit any money. This will greatly help out the channel and is always appreciated. And now back to your regularly scheduled programming. Congrats, ladies and gentlemen, you've made it to the end of the video. If you like what you watched, make sure you subscribe because I put out videos just like this one every single day. And please do me a favor and smash that like button if I helped you in any way, because it really goes a long way in helping the channel out and keeps me motivated to make videos every single day. Now, there's a lot of work involved, a lot of research, and a lot of time and effort into editing and putting these out daily for you guys. You can subscribe from your screen right now. Or if you want to watch one of my other videos, I'm sure YouTube has some good content picked out for you on the left-hand side of your screen now. Thanks for sticking it out with me till the end, and I will see you guys in the next video.